Welcome to the Neoterism channel. Today's topic is why learn a new language. The purpose of learning a new language. There are different purposes depending on the person why people learn new languages. Some people learn new languages so they could use it when they travel abroad to communicate with foreign people. Some people learn new language because they want to listen and hear movies in the native language, in English, for example. In Japan, people learn language beginning in junior high up to high school in order to prepare for the college entrance examination. So it's the purpose is examination purposes. Some people learn a new language because they want to use it as in their business. It's a prerequisite for their business activity. The purpose of learning a new language, the Neoterism perspective, is that in the process of acquiring a language, you not only learn how to communicate with other people, but the purpose is you acquire a new consciousness, a new perspective, a new way to look at the world. It's not only about the language, it's about the new mind that you acquire in the process of learning a language. Let me give you an example of what I mean by this. Having been brought up myself in two cultures, the Japanese culture and the American culture, Japanese culture mainly in Tokyo, and the American culture mainly in the Southern California area. I've lived in Los Angeles and San Diego in a place called Encinitas, and pretty much half of my life I lived in Japan, half in the United States. I've also lived and worked and studied and functioned in both cultures. In the process of acquiring two languages, I I'm able to speak in Japanese as well as English, but more so, I've noticed you acquire a consciousness, a Japanese consciousness or Japanese mind, or American mind or American consciousness. Let me give you an example of what I mean by this. First of all, in Japan, uh, oftentimes Japan represents cross-cultural psychologists indicate a collectivist society. And what that means is the Japanese people are very much group oriented, and they have a group consciousness. It's not about the self. It's the first priority is the group. Opposed to that, in the United States is known as the individualistic society, and that's about the individual. What's important, the priority is stating your opinion or having a voice, standing out. Okay, so as you can see, the Japanese mind and the American mind is very different. Okay, please note, due to my ethnic and cultural background, living and brought up in Japan and the United States, I I talk or my concept will focus on the Japanese and the U.S. or American culture. But keep in mind, this applies for other cultures as well. Whether you're Latino American growing up in the United States learning Spanish and English, or if you're Chinese American growing up in New York learning Chinese or English. Also, if you're living in France and learning French and German, Neoterism applies as well too. But keep in mind, my focus will mainly be about acquiring the Japanese language and the English language because that is my background, that is my training, that is my forte. Okay, after editing this video, I noticed I'm wearing glasses at the very beginning and later on I'm not wearing glasses. And please forgive me for this inconsistency. I'm new at this YouTube, and I hope you have some patience in dealing with my inconsistent editing. Um, However, as a summary, this episode is about the purpose of acquiring a new language. And the Neoterism posits the notion that learning language is not only about communicative purposes, but it's about acquiring a new consciousness. So, in my sense, from my context, I've acquired a Japanese consciousness as well as an American consciousness. And in the next video, I'll explain what are the merits about obtaining different consciousness. Okay? If this episode intrigued your interest and you could resonate with what I'm talking about, make sure you subscribe so we could keep in touch. And I'll be talking more about the gist of Neoterism, bicultural identity development, and how we can realize a better world by connecting with different cultures. Okay, thank you very much and hope to see you soon.